I went to the moped store, said fuck it. Salesman's like, what up, what's your budget? And I'm like, honestly, I don't know nothing about mopeds. He said,
I got the one for you. Follow me.
ooh, it's too real. Chromed out mirror, I don't need a windshield. Banana seat, a canopy on two wheels. 800 cash, that's a hell of a deal. I'm headed
downtown, cruising through the alley, tiptoeing in the street like ballet. Pulled up, moped to the valet. White walls on the wheels like mayonnaise. Dope, my crew is ill, and all we need is two good wheels. Got gas in the tank, cash in the bank, and a bad little mama with her ass in my face. I'ma lick that, stick that, break her off, kick cat, snuck her in backstage. You don't need a wristband. Dope.
Welcome to Boys, episode 62. We have a very special episode today.
Yeah.
Features 2 guests, 1 guest, 0 guests. It's a cold coffee.
Welcome back to the cold coffee.
I wish I had a drop to play right there. I need a drop.
Or would it be welcome back? You need the welcome back, just that at the beginning.
All right. I'll put it in there.
Yeah, on your soundboard. Oh, fun.
So we got a lot of things to talk about today. So we decided to have a cold coffee episode with just Josh and I.
Yeah.
And before we get to that, we're going to discuss a little business as per usual.
Business.
I like to shorten words these days.
The usual.
It's the millennials getting to me. Usual.
Because you can't just say
Usual.
you will after that.
Usual.
It's not a time.
Nah. So yeah, first and foremost, if you're listening to this, you probably already know, but I'm going to remind you again, it's my job. It's my duty.
Your job. Are people still saying that? No.
Lord. Boyspodcast.com, a hub of all things boys. There's links to our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And it's a wonderful place to be. You get these episodes, you can interact.
All on this little thing that's in your hand.
Yeah, right now. Mine is in my
Your
hand.
cellular
right
telephone.
Yeah. And what's also cool is I'm going to try to get our t-shirts, our brand new t-shirts,
Yeah.
up on the website.
So we'll have a merch page.
I'm gonna get with my web guy.
Sweet. Can we do it all flash?
Yeah, it's gonna be gifs. It's gonna be starry background. There might even be like a
song in the background.
like a Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah,
or
something.
Panic at the Disco.
Oh, for sure.
Or one of those bands of yore that are still fondly remembered. so fondly
Speaking
remembered.
of new technologies, we're also available on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud. You can rate, review, subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher and SoundCloud.
Just download it from all three. Makes those numbers go through the
like
roof.
you said the last episode, the cat's out of the bag. We do come out early.
A little bit.
We come early on SoundCloud.
Come original.
But, you could hit them all three. You never know. Maybe you'll miss something. Maybe you're at work. You missed something. You got to go back and re-listen.
Well, in this modern day and age, we have several devices. We have our phones.
Too many.
We have our tablets.
Yeah.
We have our laptops. We have our desktops. We have our all-in-ones. We have them all. We have our notes.
Notepads.
We have our notepads. We have our PDAs.
Yeah. ThinkPads. And
We have it all. So yeah, you can download it anywhere there. Speaking of the coming out early though, so I was putting the podcast up way early, because I just want to get home. I'm so excited. I just want to get home and edit.
Yeah.
I love it. But this week I did something different. I didn't release it till Thursday. So you'll get it early, but just a few hours early. A day early.
You'd be ahead of the curve, though. You get them inside jokes before anybody else knows what they are.
Well, think of it this way. If you download the podcast from SoundCloud, give it a listen, you're in on it before anybody else. So for a brief moment, it's like you're on the show. It's like you're one of the boys.
Like you're in studio.
It's like me and you talking.
Yeah.
We pop off one of those classic inside jokes, and you're right there to hear it. And then if you got a few hours to use it, you go to the bar.
Yeah.
Maybe go sing some karaoke. Maybe go bowling. You can use that joke, and people are going to think we stole it from you.
Yeah.
Much like the dad
You
dick
could be the cool one.
bit from our live show.
Yeah.
Still reeling in the years about that one. But anyways, yeah, you can email us boys at boyspodcast.com. Questions, concerns, comments, criticisms, praise, advice.
Yeah.
I got turned on to a podcast called My Brother and Me.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, they're pretty big. They have a lot of episodes, but they do advice on the show. They do they take questions. They started out doing Yahoo. They would read Yahoo questions and answer them.
That's weird.
Yeah, but now they're so big, they have people calling in, writing in all the time, and that's all they do. It's like an advice show, basically. But it's awesome. So yeah, we're still waiting on our first, so
Yeah, give us some shit, guys.
come on.
Big thanks, sponsors, Paramount Theater, where we are not filming. We're taping this. God, what the fuck?
We're taping it to an SD card.
Lost Ogle, Anthem Brewing. Great beers. Again,
Good guys.
go to the tap room. Get yourself a beer. They come in all different sizes for all different prices. That could have been a rhyme.
It could have been a rhyme. You don't want that?
Fat Bison, good wood, good dude.
Good wood.
You can find his good wood at the Monoxide booth at Bad Granny. Or not Bad Granny's, what's the...
Rink Gallery.
Rink Gallery. That's
Rink Gallery in beautiful Bethany, Oklahoma.
Yeah. Go get your shit in Bethany, Oklahoma. And then lastly, OKC Comedy.
And speaking of OKC Comedy, we've got... this is coming out right before. Guys, get in there. July 15th. OKC Comedy proudly presents The Smartest Man in the World live podcast taping.
That'll be tomorrow. If you're listening to this on Friday the 14th. Tomorrow.
With Greg Proops. If you're listening to this on Thursday, you get it a day before. I was trying to think of something funny, and I'm just.
Hey, and if you
not
go
working.
and you have one of those boys t-shirts, wear a boys t-shirt.
Yeah, you'll see us on the screen up there.
Yeah, we'll be
It's
up
cute.
there. Yeah.
And yeah.
Lastly, thanks guys for the donations, the tweets, the comments, all of the love, all the hate. We soak it all in equally.
We don't get much hate, which is tight.
No.
I wonder, I know this is just a little show that two best buddies do together. We've learned a lot about each other, learned a lot about our guests, learned a lot about ourselves, frankly.
I would say Alan Jackson said it best. Learned a lot about living, a little about love.
I liked when he said, it gets hotter than a hoochie coochie.
I do like that too. We've discussed that previously.
Yeah.
It comes up a lot.
Yeah, I love it. It's words I live by to this day.
That it was on the radio in like 1990 was fucking insane.
Yeah. Great song. Great man. Very patriotic. So I have to start out the show with something really... I hate to start the show on a bad note.
Oh boy.
But I mean, we don't do these cold coffees very often. So I thought it would be a good time to address this and maybe just kind of get it out in the open and then move on. Sure. So last night I was walking back to a hotel room and actually we didn't walk. We took an Uber back. We walked down. We stayed in a good friend of mine and I stayed in Deep Ellum at a hotel. We went down to Deep Ellum. We walked there. Decided to take an Uber back. I don't even know if I can bring this up. It's fucked up, man. Like, I was going to tell you at brunch. We had brunch.
Yeah. We did. We just got finished with brunch.
But I didn't want to ruin your breakfast.
What happened?
Your brunch.
Dead body? You're getting real.
So we're in the Uber, and nice Uber driver. We pull over right in front of the hotel, in front of the parking garage, because I had to run up to the car for a second. And I get out of the Uber, and I rip my shoe.
How so? What shoes were you wearing?
Hold on.
I can't shed a tear until I know the type of tear that your shoe has encountered.
I was wearing my brand new Nikes that I just bought from Zappos.
Oh, no.
It was dark.
Your Nike dads.
Yes. It was dark. I may have been a little inebriated. We were almost there. We were almost to our safe haven. And I stepped out, and there was a 2-inch pipe sticking out of the ground that had been cut off like there used to be a street sign.
I thought you were going to say there's a 2-inch pipe in my pants.
4. Step out, kind of missed the curb a little bit. The pipe that was sticking about 2 inches out of the ground, sawed off at the top, not a clean saw, a jagged saw.
Sure, something dangerous.
Caught the top of my shoe, and I ripped my brand new shoe that I got a good deal on.
You got a real good deal on that. Now,
I like a
is
deal.
it salvageable, or do you have to toss them?
Well, I'm wearing them right now, actually. Let me... See it?
Oh, I do see that.
See it? It sticks out like a sore thumb. I might as well open that hole and stick my fucking big toe through like Goofy. Because that's what I feel like. It's terrible, man. And these don't even have a speck of dirt on them. They're fresh kicks.
Clean kicks with a new hole.
What do I do?
Duct tape.
That would look good. Yeah. Maybe some like zebra striped.
Yeah, that would
They
look
make
punk.
all kinds now.
Look punk. You could probably sew that shit right up.
It's never going to be the same.
Those are the dad meshy ones. You can fix that.
I call these the Mike Herreras.
Yeah.
I think Mike Herrera and maybe
Mark Hoppus.
Mark Hoppus kind of got me on this kick. for kicks.
I see what you said there.
But in a flash, my shoe life flashed before my eyes.
Well, yeah.
And I thought about all the shoes I ever owned and how much I take care of my possessions and my shoes, especially my shoes.
Well, this was no fault of your own. This had to do. This is city management. This is street management.
It was a bad part of town. I shouldn't have been out so late.
See, now you're playing. Now you're doing the victim of like, no, I shouldn't have yelled at him, officer. I shouldn't have yelled at him.
Okay, so I'm being kind of cute here, but this really upset me.
Yeah.
It can ruin an evening.
Yeah, man. I've had a shoe instance. I bought, so Nike now owns Chuck Taylor, the Converse brand.
Okay.
About a year ago, they came out with these, they're called Chuck 2s.
All right.
They're supposed to be fancier, made better, made sturdier with a really good insole.
A modern take on a classic design.
Yes. Super comfy. They were like $80.
All right.
I said, I'm going to treat myself. Got these shoes. Man, were they comfy as shit. And then, a few months in, you get the usual Chuck Taylor wear. Was getting that, but it was more than that.
Yeah.
Started getting the Chuck Taylor, what do you call these things here? These guys.
We're just showing shoes.
What do
The
you call
white
it?
walls? Let's call them the white walls.
The white walls of the sides of
yeah.
your shoes. Start doing the flappy,
Oh, yeah.
where they come off of the canvas a little bit.
They unadhere to the
Yes.
canvas. Yeah. Is that
So I was
a
like,
word?
it's fine. I just keep walking around with them. So every time you take a step, it just goes whip, like a
a duck's mouth opening.
or like those little coin things when you were a kid. Those little rubbery coin things.
yeah,
It just
they're
every time it
football
goes-
shaped.
Yeah, and you squeeze it, and it looks like it goes whack.
Did you ever do that when you were a kid? I did it all the time. I would whap it
Whap, whap.
all the time. I go whap, 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 whap. I whapped, dude.
Anyway, so I thought it was just a whap, a classic whap.
Classic whap.
So I'm trying to put them on the other day, and I put them on, and as my foot hits the bottom of the shoe, it bows. So I can see my socks from both sides. Like, what the fuck, man? And then I have these other Chucks that I'm wearing right now that I bought secondhand. These are original.
Those are classics.
These are original 90s Chucks.
You know what I call those?
What?
Dirty strokes white.
These are Dirty Strokes white.
They are. Those have seen some miles.
Yeah, if I was wearing like a suit that was 3 sizes too small for me.
And a Camel Cigarettes t-shirt.
Yeah.
And you'd strokes your jeans. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day when we
Yeah.
wore the tight jeans.
Gotta strokes 'em.
And they didn't come pre-ripped. So I was working at a skate shop at the time. And I actually brought my jeans
Fashion
to work.
segment up top. Okay.
I actually brought my jeans to work because we had this area where you'd like grip skate decks and all these tools, all this grip tape. I actually stroked my jeans at work, and boy, they look good. It was before you could buy them with holes in them.
Yeah. Or like, remember when the Gap sold pre-faded jeans?
Oh yeah, I mean they still do, and they have the weird like whiskers on them.
Yeah,
And shit
you
like
buy
that.
them and then you wash them twice, and then guess what happens? That pre-wash is basically a dye.
Yeah.
And once you wash them a couple times, now they're just dad blue.
They're Obama blue.
They're Obama
Periwinkle Obama blues. I love that album. So back to your shoes.
Yeah, so I haven't tossed them. I should have just thrown them in the garbage, but there's a part of me that thinks I could just like Gorilla Glue them back together.
Try it. Do it. Try it and bring back an update.
Okay.
Wear them. After you Gorilla Glue them, shoe glue them.
Yeah, give them a day out in the sun. Yeah. Give them a try.
So yeah, these shoes, man, like they're brand new. I love them. Like my old Nikes, my kind of crazy
Now you
ones.
just said Nike.
Uh-huh.
The appropriate pronunciation is Nike, right?
No.
Nike.
I say what the rappers say.
They say Nike?
Uh-huh.
Is it because it's easier than saying Nike on the mic?
Well,
Or it's easier to rhyme with?
you could, what do you rhyme Nike with?
Well, here's the thing.
Mikey?
Like, it's like rolling down the street, cruising on my bikey. Stepped off the curb, just ripped my new Nike.
I like it. You could say something like, Steve Irwin was a man and he said, oh, crikey, went to the store and bought some khaki new Nikes.
Khaki Nikes?
Yeah, in honor of the fallen,
Okay.
Steve Irwin.
Oh, he does wear khakis.
You know, who-
khakis. Crikey, my khakis.
Crikey, my Nikes! It's in a manta ray's mouth. Yeah, there's not much you can rhyme with Nike. I think Nike sounds cool. I think
Is Nike the new orange? Were you not supposed to be able to rhyme with orange? But then Eminem did that whole thing where he totally rhymed with orange, and it was pretty badass.
Eminem.
YouTube
So
that.
good. So good.
Anyways, we're talking about shoes.
Yeah, shoe talk.
Okay.
There's a shoe.
There is a shoe.
So I'm wearing these shoes today because I scooted down to the studio.
They're functional.
They're fine.
They're not whapping.
They're not whapping. But I look down. See, the problem with fucking up a shoe is, you know what? Sometimes the shoe's on the other foot, and you have two shoes on, and you're looking down, and the shoes are different. I need order. Yeah. My alignment is totally off.
Okay, like the stroke stain on the shoes. If one was stained and the other wasn't, you'd look like a fucking homeless person.
You look like you stole a display shoe.
I feel like my shoes look homeless, but the fact that the way I dress, be like, oh, it's a fashion statement.
Yeah, it is. They're strokes white.
Yeah, strokes white.
Oh, I'm going to get a picture of him and we'll post it to our Instagram. And I'll post my terrible tragedy.
Man, okay.
Do you want to see it again?
The way, okay, let's see it. Toss it across the table.
They're new enough where I'm actually taking it off and I'm handing you the fallen soldier.
That's not too bad. That's easily fixable.
I hope.
Give it a sew.
What I'm going to do the same thing I do when I have a sweater that has like fuzzies. I'm going to get a razor blade and try to just smooth it out. Like I'm sculpting here. Look, I'm like Michelangelo. I'm Michelangelo.
Michelangelo. I thought you were going to do something like, when you blow out the elbows of your corduroy jacket, you just put patches on it.
Yeah. Or when you buy a brand new sweater when you're 15 and you cut thumb holes in it.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You ever do it?
Yeah. Now they sell them like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They sell hoodie. I actually once almost bought a hoodie that had thumb holes.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I was a little too old for it.
You feel like a novelty tee goth.
Yes, exactly. A mall goth.
A mall goth.
It's terrible. So yeah, that's my shoe story. I'm sticking to it. I see what you did there. It was sad.
Gum sole, gum stick.
Close. So how have you been, man? We are. This is actually our third Sunday in a row to do.
Yeah, we were talking
Sunday
about that.
shows.
We normally go Thursday night
after work.
So we don't have to work the next day. So we'll have a couple of beers. And these past couple of Sundays, we'll either not drink or have like a beer. And it's interesting. Today we went waters.
We went classic cold water, and Josh, you nailed it. You grabbed some cups from the storage area, and you coined these cups the NPR cups.
The thing is, because they're not Dixie size in their tallness. They're Dixie size in their circumference.
Yes.
And they are the same composition of a classic plastic cup you'd see at a barbecue.
Yes, absolutely.
Except they are, I would say, a good 3 inches shorter.
If I could describe this cup, if you start at the bottom.
Now you're here.
We all do. Good rapper reference there. You start at the bottom. The circumference is the exact size of a Dixie cup. But you know what? As your eyes travel upward, you stop about right there.
It whaps.
This totally whaps out. Look. But look, it's like a Dixie cup here, right?
Right.
But then it just keeps on going. It's tall. It's cylindrical. It doesn't hold much water.
You know what it kind
much
of
like
looks
this conversation.
If you ever had to take a urine test for an employer, this looks like a cup that you would pee in for a urine test.
Thirsty.
Parched. Anywho.
So your week went well.
Yeah, man. Well,
let's wrap, buddy. Let's wrap.
I'll say it went well. I mean, we got some bad news, but you kind of move.
Are you talking about my shoes?
Yes, your shoes. No, but
you move on.
There were some personal things that came up this week, but other than that, it was a great week.
Good.
I can't really complain.
Good.
Yeah.
I went to Dallas, as
you
mentioned
did.
previously.
You pulled a summer 2003 vibe and just drove down to Dallas for the weekend.
But unlike summer of 2003, I didn't stop at KT's.
And you didn't go to Urban Outfitters.
I didn't.
Yeah.
No. Went to IKEA. Went to eat. Went to eat again.
Did you get some Swedish meatballs at the IKEA?
No. Oh, God. Okay. I saw a sign for those when I was in IKEA. And I was just like, that looks like poop with liquid poop drizzled atop. It looked disgusting. They're like gray.
Yeah, those are Swedish.
Shouldn't they be blue and yellow then?
Borgen.
They look disgusting.
Yeah.
I thought about it though.
They have spaghetti too, which is not Swedish at all.
No, it's Mexican. I would love to try these meatballs.
Can I get the El Spaghetti?
Could I get the El Spaghetto? Oh shit, I got some on my necks. To throw these out.
Anyway, so you went to IKEA.
IKEA doesn't have the wow factor that it did when I was younger. I think Amazon ruined it for me.
Yes, you go to IKEA now, and it is like I think I said it before, stressful. I immediately get anxiety.
I didn't get anxiety. I was good. So, but it just I don't know, man. Like I had a list of things I needed. I got those things, and when I used to go, I would like pick up a bunch of shit. Like, oh, this is cool. I'm gonna get this. It's cheap.
Only $1.
Yeah, it's $4. I'm gonna get this. And I went to get a bookshelf, but then I got down there and I just didn't think I needed it once I saw it.
And then you're like
in person.
Can I really spend like $150 on a book if I may or may not?
It was $109.
That's not bad.
No.
Is it the big giant one?
Like the one I have in my bedroom. It's the same one. I love
those. Those are really because you know what? They're the perfect size to put records into.
Yep. And big glass dildos. That's what I needed a new shelf.
Well, you need to display all those big glass dildos.
Yeah, I'm a glassman.
Yeah.
That's all I can put in me. Is glass.
Todd Glass.
George Glass.
Ooh. Any other Glass? Glass Joe from Mike Tyson's Punch
Glass
Out?
Joe's a good one. You've got Philip Glass, the classical composer.
Oh, Mr. Glass from the movie Unbreakable.
Damn. You've got Glass. What? That's all the glass.
That's all. That's all the glass there ever was. Did you want to continue on your IKEA experience?
Oh no, that's it. It was fun. Yeah, had a good time. Had a great time. Yeah, and now I'm back, and it's Sunday, and we're here, and I'm loving it. I'm feeling really good lately.
Yeah, man.
I think it might have to do with the new 311 album. I'm not gonna lie. I know I tried. I brought it up with Mr. Hickey.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't picking up what I was putting down as expected from anyone.
311 has been a band that I've enjoyed thoroughly since I was about 15 years old. So we're going on 20 years of 311.
Absolutely.
I was really excited for the new record. Man, it just
didn't stick with you.
I've been putting it in rotation, and it's just
not for you.
It's just not sticking. I don't know what it is.
It's okay. I forgive you. You know what? You gave it a try.
I gave it a try.
But there was nothing in the world I wanted more than not to rip my shoe. And for you to like Mosaic.
Second thing. I know. It's got a great title, too.
It does. It makes so much sense. It's beautiful. It came out in the perfect time
because it's a mosaic of all the different sounds 311's ever done.
Yes. And the cover, a mosaic of the fans. Genius. I was really hoping you would pick it up like hardcore because I was, but I'm not going to guilt you into it. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. And we can be honest with each other.
I'll go see them live. I'll go. They'll play the hits.
I want to see them live, and I'm bummed. They're playing in Denver in, I think, next month, early August.
Yes.
And I want to go so bad, but I just can't afford it. I have to buy new shoes.
Yeah. Because you poked a tiny hole in your
Don't bring it up.
It's still fresh.
Don't bring it up.
All right, man.
I want to go to the show so bad, and to see them in Denver would be the perfect marriage.
It's a great play. If they were playing Red Rocks, I would spend any amount of money. I would spend money.
Yeah, they're playing. I forget, it's some pavilion, but it looks cool.
I guess.
And I'd like to go, but you factor in the travel, you factor in the lodging.
Yeah, you factor in the time you're going to be on the road.
Yeah, the food,
the
libations,
all of that. Although we had a great time last time we went to Denver.
We didn't spend much money.
Not
because I tow up MXPX's green room. Literally, I tore it up. I wrecked it and blamed it on a 12-year-old that was there.
The kid took all your beers.
Yeah, he knocked over your Maker's Mark.
That was nobody's fault.
I actually butt chugged it.
You did not.
No, that's why
I dropped it on the ground.
Well, I shit it onto the floor.
Oh, you gross.
Yeah,
you gross.
Well, it is glass, so up it went.
Yep. But speaking of 311, we've been in talks of doing a side project, a side cast, a once a month for a year.
A bonus.
Bonus. That it's not going to be it'll be boys adjacent. And it's a 311 podcast where we sit down with a third mic.
Yet to be decided, but if you're listening to this, Randy, you're my number one man. Come on,
number one.
He likes fish. He likes fish.
Yeah.
And I've been listening to a lot of Grateful Dead, and then this 311 album came out, and not that they're similar at all musically, but I'm just picking up the same joy vibes from it.
Well, what it's going to be, we're going to go, each episode is going to be discussing an album from their first album, Music, up to Mosaic. Music, Mosaic.
Oh, see, it's all happening.
It's all making sense, man.
We're still trying to develop a name for it as well.
There's a couple titles flying around.
There's a few I had that I
Investigate 311.
That is good, but that Eric Andre is a piece of shit, and he will sue us.
Yeah, he will.
So fuck that guy.
He definitely will.
I don't like him.
311 Truthers.
Ooh, I don't know. We'll get there.
311 was an inside job.
311 was an inside joke.
Ooh,
We're getting there.
tally hoo.
Let's just keep spitballing, baby.
Yeah,
this
let's
is
just
really
blow the fuck
interesting.
out of the guest.
Anyways,
you guys are our guests today with us on the 62nd episode of Boys.
yes, be our guest.
What is it? 30
As
minutes
that candlestick
in?
said.
And we
Beauty
just
and the
now.
Beast. It's fine. This is what we do.
Cold coffee's get a little loose, guys.
Strap in because we're going to talk about 311 podcasts. No, it's coming.
It is.
It's going to happen. We're just I want to approach this podcast a little differently than we do Boys. You know, Boys, we're just flying by the seat of our pants. We're off the cuff.
Yeah, but I think the 311 one's going to be definitely a album by album. I guess look back, a discussion on that album. Maybe not track by track, but maybe the ones that hit.
Yeah, we don't have to hit all 17 songs once we get to Mosaic, but maybe you, I,
Ones that pop out.
and a guest.
Yeah.
You know, when we're doing our week or monthly research on the album, maybe we pick 3 to 4 songs we like and we discuss them, and maybe those songs will overlap, and it would be a beautiful thing.
It would be a beautiful thing.
It would be so awesome. So speaking of, we're going to consult the list here because that's what we do.
Just about to say that.
What were you thinking? You want to steer this ship?
I mean, there's a lot of things on here, man. I think we've already hit this fidget spinners thing.
Okay. Oh, I got a quick fidget spinner side note.
Okay.
So when we were at the, what was it called? The Nebraska Furniture Mart when we were in Dallas, my good friend and I.
Do they have homemade fidget spinners?
No, but get this. I was wearing my Coheed and Cambria shirt that I got at the concert when I met him. And this dude's like an employee, like he's in like a tie and a nice shirt. He's like leaning up against this like bar, and he looks over at me and he goes, "Hey man, nice shirt." And I looked over and I was like, "Oh, thanks, dude." And he was like a tall, younger fella, long hair, beard. Looked like he was into rock music.
Rock and roll music.
Yeah, rock and roll music, which we all know Coheed and Cambria is some good rock and roll music. Anyways, he's like, "Oh, I like your shirt, man. Check this out." And he busts a black fidget spinner out of his pocket, and he, you know that sound they make when they spin?
I've never seen it. I've never physically touched it. I don't know what they...
You've never spun one?
I've never spun a fidget spinner.
They're kind of fun.
Never spun a spinner.
So he pulls it out and he goes, it sounds like a skateboard bearing.
Yeah. Because that's what it is.
Exactly what it is. And then he stops it and he pops it, and it's a black fidget spinner with the Coheed and Cambria logo on it. And I was like, "Whoa, they make fidget spinners?" He's like, "Yeah, they made like 20 of them and I got one of them." And I was like, "Awesome, dude, that's funny." And he's like, "Check this out." And he pulls his keys out of his pocket, and he has on his key ring, he has like a Coheed and Cambria key, like a pewter key, but it's not to a lock. It's like it's a decorative key. It's a key you'd put on your heavy keychain for decoration. It's a key. Wait a minute. Was it a keychain?
It was a key chain. It was a keychain, yeah. It was a keychain key in the shape of a key?
It was a keychain in the shape of a key with the Coheed and Cambria logo on it. Pewter, had some different colors on it and stuff.
Maybe he had that custom. Maybe that's the key to his house or something. Or his jam space, or him and the band go and they just rock out Coheed covers.
That's all they do. They just play Coheed covers.
That's a fan. Like, I love bands like, again, I'll say it, MXPX is like probably hands down my favorite band of all time. I do not have an MXPX key. I do not have an MXPX fidget spinner.
No, you don't.
I own one MXPX t-shirt and one piece of MXPX art. That is it.
Yeah.
I own maybe 3 records.
A cover.
All the CDs.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But to be in a cover band.
Of a band that you love?
I'm talking,
Commitment.
not a cover band where you're playing the top 40 hits at the Ronnie K's Dance
No, you're
Mobile.
talking like an actual tribute band.
See, that's what I was going to bring up. There's a cover band. Then there's levels. There's a cover band that plays a bunch of different band songs.
Sure.
There's a cover band that might just be like a Kiss cover band or a, MXPX cover band.
Well, they'll do like Kiss and then like Alice Cooper songs or something. Like they'll mix it up.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much 2 bands.
Okay.
And then there's a tribute band.
Where they like try to dress like them.
Dress like them, sound like them, same instruments, same guitar effects, same all that shit.
That's pretty admirable, I would say.
Have you gone down a YouTube rabbit hole of tribute bands?
I went down a YouTube rabbit hole of certain tribute bands, Nirvana being one of them.
I've looked for a few. I haven't found any that were really worth anything. I found a couple of, there's a bunch of Green Day tribute bands, and some of them do really fucking well. Like, they tour around the world as a Green Day tribute band.
Now, do they try to dress like them?
The singer does the like 2000 era where he's like black on black with a red tie. And
the American
eyeliner.
Idiot era.
The American Idiot era. He dresses like that.
Okay.
I would like to see a Green Day cover band that does like the 1993, 94 era.
Yeah.
Work shirts, that shit.
A single
hair.
dreadlock.
Single dreadlock. A lot of the spazzes that he used to do.
Yeah. I would like that.
Sling that guitar super low.
But see, I think a tribute band for a band like Green Day that's been around a long time, number one, and has changed a lot. I mean, their music's kind of always been the same, but they've changed looks, they've changed approaches.
Yeah.
They've changed audiences for sure.
Definitely.
Dude, there are like 14-year-old kids walking around the mall with Green Day shirts on.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind because I started listening to Green Day when I was 14.
Yeah. And they were a stoner punk rock band.
Yeah, it's so weird that they've been around that long. And not to discredit that band, but I mean, it's just simple pop punk. It's catchy as all hell. Even the newer stuff, I don't care for it. They're catchy songs.
It goes to show, like, in order to achieve longevity at that level, you have to adjust and kind of grow with the times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't sing about smoking pot and jerking off when you're like 50.
Yeah, that
what
that would be bad.
You got to sing about politics and that kind of thing.
and hating whoever's in power.
Sure.
You know?
The best.
So speaking of getting old, man, I've had this on the list for a while, and I wanted to talk about it for so long, but I was waiting for. I'm choked up again. I'm thinking about my shoe. I was waiting for a cold coffee so I could bring it up, but so my grandma passed away a couple years ago, and my grandfather is still alive and well, kicking. He's
How old?
He just turned 90.
Cool.
And he's a tall, spry, good-looking man. Like, he still gets around, he drives, he runs around, he lives by himself. He's a very active man.
Is he a coverall wearing man? Or like overalls?
No, my grandpa has worn the same thing since about 1982, and it is khaki pants, like some New Balances of some sort or some Reeboks, you know, the plain black, belt, button up, long sleeve shirt, like a baby blue or like a gray or maybe like a light pink. And like a trucker hat. Every time I see that man, the only time I haven't seen him in that uniform, I call that, like, you know, it's like Beavis and Butthead or King of the Hill. They're always wearing the exact same thing. The only time I haven't, perfect example. The only time I haven't seen him in that uniform, in his grandpa uniform, was at my grandma's funeral. He wore a suit and he looked great. Well, anyways, since my grandma passed away, you know, my grandpa apparently is still a man with needs. And I think there's a correlation in getting older and not giving a fuck. Because my grandpa's always been kind of a quiet guy and kind of reserved, you know, good Christian man. Good Christian man. That just has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Lately, he's been a little perverted with me.
Sure.
No, well, that sounded weird. Yeah, no. Around me.
Okay.
He
Like whipping his dick out?
yeah. Just fondling children, jerking off in public, all kinds of stuff.
Oh no.
No. He's been very open.
Okay.
With his verbiage, with his filling me in on his life. Apparently, okay, so let me backtrack a little bit. I picked up my grandpa because he lives real close to me, and we head out to my dad's house in Choctaw for a day of grilling, chilling, and all around fun.
Grilling, chilling, maybe even illin'.
Oh, there was illin' going on. As soon as my grandpa got in the car, I told him about my divorce. I told him about the situation I'm in currently, and he said, "Oh, Rob, since your grandma passed away, I've got me about 4 girlfriends now." And I thought, that's really cute. Like, y'all go to Brahms together, maybe have a biscuit. You know, maybe swing down to the Crest supermarket and get you some Bluebell ice cream. It's on sale this week, by the way. 3 gallons. 3 gallons?
That's a shit ton of ice cream, dude.
3 gallons for $1. Can you believe it?
But it expires tomorrow.
Yeah. No, it's done. It's green. It's old. It's gross.
Not mint chocolate chip. Continue.
It's fine. Okay.
3 girlfriends.
4. I think
4
he said
girlfriends.
4. And one of which lives down the street from him. And he went on to tell me about them and their names. And he told me a couple stories. Well, he told me a few stories, but a couple of which I'd like to share with you right now and our audience. Strap in. He has a deep okay, so my grandpa, let me set the scene for you. He lives in a cute little house with a garage, and my grandfather, I would say 75% of the time that he's awake, he opens his garage door and he sits in a chair at the end of his garage and just kind of watches the world go by. Mm-hmm. He just sits out there. He's not on his phone like us kids. There's not a TV out there. There's not even a radio. He just sits there and he exists.
And it's probably relaxing to him.
It's got to be.
When I was a kid, there was an older fella that did that all the time. And we would ride our bikes by his house and we would be afraid of that old man.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, why is he doing that? But then the older you get, the more like, he's probably just like, fuck, man, I don't have many more of these days left. I'm going to enjoy outdoors while in the shade.
Yep. He's made in the shade. He got a fucking carport made, and it shades him so he can sit there, and even if it's hot outside, it's not that bad under there.
Yeah.
He's got a big, beautiful tree in his front yard. This tree. When I was a kid.
Pecan tree?
No, it's not a pecan tree.
Pecan.
Nikes. It's not a pecan tree. A pecan
the Nike
tree.
pecan.
It's this beautiful, huge tree. I don't know what kind it is, but
it's a big tree.
It's a big ass tree. It's beautiful. You can see this tree from when you turn onto a street. It's so beautiful. I want a tree like that someday.
But he's got a deep freezer. I heard
he's got a deep freeze in his garage, and he said, so next door lives an older lady that he's known forever, and he said, I'm not gonna talk like my grandpa because he has a very interesting voice, but I'll just do it my usual old man voice. He was sorry, I didn't mean to put a hole in your shoe. He's like, Rob, yeah, I was getting down. I got ahead of myself. The deep freeze is the kind that opens like a coffin.
Sure.
Not side by side.
Yeah.
He said, Rob, I was getting some ice cream out of the deep freeze the other night, and I felt something warm. And he said, I was bent over in the deep freeze, digging around in there, getting something out, and I felt something warm on my shoulder. And I turned around, and we'll call this lady Shaniqua. He said, I turned around, and there was a big tit on my arm. He said, Shaniqua came over, took her top off in my garage, and put her big old tit right on my arm. And I was like, wow, okay, that's weird. Why? He's like, I think she wants to have sex with me. And I was like, oh, all right, Grandpa. Never heard anything like this out of his mouth, ever.
And is that as far as that story for him went?
No.
Okay.
He said, and then he told me about this story, and I was like, well, damn, Grandpa, maybe she wants peace, joking around with him. And he's like, well, then the next day, he goes, and Shaniqua just comes in his house. Like, they're friends. Like, she just comes over and, gives a little rap on the door and walks in, Hi, Nate, does like a Kramer.
Yeah.
And he said, I was in the shower cleaning up for the night, and I go into my bedroom, and she's laying in my bed butt naked. And we all know grandpas can, let's just say, not be the most politically correct people. He goes, she was butt naked, didn't even have her socks on. She looked like a big black bear laying in my bed. And not to be racist, but that's just a funny descriptor for a big person.
She left her socks on, though?
No socks.
Oh, didn't even have her socks on.
Naked.
That is an old man thing to say.
Yeah.
You gotta keep your socks on when you're having sex.
You got to. Your feet might get cold.
They might get cold, or the Lord. Something about the Lord.
So when he told me this, I mean, first I was embarrassing for the descriptor. Sure. I was embarrassed because of the descriptor, I should say.
Also, just picturing two elderly people nude.
Yeah.
And one fresh out of the shower.
And my grandpa is super tall and super skinny. And I've met Shaniqua. She is neither of those things. She's a robust woman. Sweet as she is wide. I'll just say that. She's a big lady. So just imagining them together.
And so he proceeded.
He said, yeah, I got in the bed and laid down, and she started diddling with my pecker. And I was just like, Grandpa, okay, all right. What is this, Rip Shoe Diaries? Come on, I've had enough. I don't need to hear any more of this. And I was so bright red, dude. I was so bright red. Oh my God, I was embarrassed. I was sweating.
Yeah. Your 90-year-old grandpa's talking about getting his dick played with.
So the next story he told, we'll call this lady Jane. He said,
She sounds boring.
plain, if you know what I mean. He said, yeah, I've been seeing this girl in Fort Sill. Her name's Jane. This girl, this old bag in Fort Sill named Jane. And he said, yeah, she comes up and stays with me sometimes. And he said, we were in bed one night reading a book, each reading a book. And he said, I was laying on my back and I had the book on my stomach and I was just reading my book. And he said, and I felt the weirdest thing. I felt something warm and wet on my pecker. And he said, I moved the book out of the way and she had my pecker in her mouth.
Had your grandpa never received oral sex before?
He said, I didn't know what to think. He said, because your grandma wasn't that kind of woman. That's what he said. So my grandma didn't suck dick.
How long were they married?
60 years?
Ooh.
No.
60 years
Longer than that. Longer than that.
Listen, I'm not saying that women are just blowjob factories, but I am saying that 60 years, that's a long time to go.
It's a long time. And yeah, of course they're not blowjob factories, but
women are beautiful creatures.
Hey,
and
I'll be the first to admit, I'm a giver. I enjoy pleasing the world. I give my voice into this mic. I give a lot.
Yeah.
I like to give. So you know what else? Sorry if I like to receive. What is the old saying?
Christmas.
Give and you shall receive.
Yeah.
Well, my grandpa went on to tell me that he made her stop.
What?
For two reasons. Number one, he said, when you get to be my age, your dick just doesn't work anymore. He said, I still like to play with some boobies, and I like to lay around and cuddle and maybe mess around a little bit, but he said, my dick can't get hard anymore. I said, well, why don't you go down and get you a fucking Viagra, Casanova? Maybe you need a bottle. And he said, oh, I don't think that would even work. I'm too old. So maybe he's tried it in the past. I don't know. Second thing, he said it was the first time he ever had his dick in somebody's mouth.
That's so weird.
At 90.
That's so weird. Different times, though, like... I think about that a lot when, you watch like a period piece, like...
Ew. That's why it's a blowjob, right?
Well, like right now I'm watching the show Turn. It's about, George Washington leading the rebellion against blowjobs? Against blowjobs. And I'm just sitting there thinking, okay, this is like 1777, somewhere around there. And there's like an intimate scene between these two people. My first thought goes, that probably smells awful.
I think that every time. Like, I like Game of Thrones. I kind of fell off last season, but I do like the show. Egret, the redhead, otherling.
I'll have to believe you. I don't know.
Okay. I think she's incredibly beautiful, right? And she, like, her costume in the show, she's like covered in like furs, and she has this beautiful, stunning, bright red hair, and she's just beautiful, and she falls in love with Jon Snow, who knows nothing. And she's so hot. And like they had a sex scene in it, and it was like in this underground like hot spring, and it was pretty hot. It was pretty steamy, if you know what I mean. And that was the first thing that crossed my mind was, I bet they both smell like balls.
It was that, and then my wife's sitting next to me, and she goes, because the camera pans down the woman's leg all sexy like, and she goes, she wouldn't shave her legs in 1777?
No. Do you think that George Washington's dick has the little curls on the side like his head? Like, do you think he styled his pubes in like the little side curls?
Like
I call it,
combs it out.
What do those look like?
No, and he put that hat on top of it too.
The tri-cornered hat?
Yeah.
The tri-cornered hat on your top of your helmet.
Yeah.
That would be really cute.
And then he comes into the room and is like, I cannot tell a lie.
I have a boner. It sounds like something from Austin Powers. But imagine that. Imagine this, if you will. A hard dick. Our first president's dick, right? With a tri-cornered hat on top with a Wait, would it be a feather or macaroni?
He stuck a feather in his hat and he called it macaroni.
Why?
I don't know, but that was Yankee Doodle. That was not. It's a different fella.
That's what I call George Washington.
Yankee Doodle?
Yeah.
Sure.
Why when you stick a feather in your hat, does it magically turn into a piece of, and I'm guessing like one inch piece?
Wait, no, is it uncooked so it's like crispy, or is it like loose?
It's just a floppy, cold, wet macaroni noodle, which is much like my grandfather's penis.
When I heard that song when I was a kid, my thought was, the first time I sang it wasn't like, oh, this is a funny song. I was like, did he just go, macaroni. Like, he sticks it in and just goes, macaroni.
Is he Italian?
Yeah.
Well,
Wait, it's macaroni.
Yeah.
So-
I always imagine an uncooked piece of like arts and crafts macaroni.
Yeah, like
the kind I would sneak and eat when I was a kid. Did you ever do that?
like macrame kind of shit. Yeah.
Did you ever eat the macaroni?
Yeah.
That you were to build with?
Yeah, and it was terrible because it's
I liked it.
chip a tooth.
Anytime I cook spaghetti at home, I take a piece and
Raw spaghetti.
mom spaghetti. So back to George Washington's dick.
Yeah.
I think I need to stage that. It might be a Photoshop. Maybe I'll do it myself. Hard shaft, tri-cornered hat. The sides of the pubes, you know where the pubes get nice and thick. Curl those into what kind of look like burrito. I don't know. What would you call those? Kind of look like cannolis.
Yeah. A butt cut with cannolis.
I love it. I love it. But yeah, I thought the same thing about people smelling bad.
Yeah.
And wasn't there a lot of like lice and crabs back then?
Yeah, for sure.
So
And shit, like everywhere.
yeah. And yeah. Like people fantasize about like the Elizabethan era or, you know, Game of Thrones, you know, medieval times and stuff. But dude, people had to stink. They didn't have deodorant back then. And no one was trimming their pubes.
No. There's a scene in this show, and it reminded me of the scene in Tombstone, where you just have like a wash basin. It's a bowl with water.
With your dirty pube water in it.
And there's no soap. You just splash your face with it, splash your pits.
I wonder, when did they go from the bowl of dirty water, to the cowboy metal tub with your feet sticking out in a scrub brush?
That's a luxury, and even more luxurious is the clawfoot tub, like the porcelain.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's
beautiful
even-
tubs.
What? Have you ever taken a shower without washing? I did the other day because I needed to cool down. It was super fucking hot.
Oh, okay. So you mean get in the shower, get wet, but don't soap up?
Yeah.
Let me think.
You don't get out feeling clean. You get out feeling wet.
Okay.
Like, for some reason, getting out of a pool, you can feel kind of clean because all the bleach and chlorine and all that shit.
Well, and I had just pissed.
Pissed.
Yeah.
But getting out of like a shower, it's like, I just feel wet, and then you're going to get hot again. So you're just going to sweat. I don't know.
I don't think, now that I've had a moment to think and reflect on the last 36 years of my life, I don't think I've ever done it.
Got in a shower without putting soap on your body?
No. I'm going to try it, though.
It was so fucking hot the other day. I got in the shower, cold water, and just did that. What's it? Matt Street called it the shower where like you just put your hand on the wall and it's like the regret shower. It was one of those just because it was so fucking hot.
The crying game shower.
The crying game shower.
Yeah.
Just curl up in a fetal position on the ground.
Have you ever sat down in the shower?
No, I've said that before.
Have we talked about this?
I cannot put my anus on porcelain tile.
Your spread cheeks.
I can't fucking do it.
So you don't take baths?
No. I've not taken a bath.
What's the last time you took a bath? A real bath?
4 years ago?
Really?
Probably. It's when I fucked my shoulder up.
Uh-huh.
And I got some Epsom salt from the CVS. Just dumped that shit in the bathtub. Some water. Soak. But again, didn't clean myself. I just soaked in salt water, which is probably I probably smelled fantastic after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a marinated piece of meat. So yeah, no, I don't. I feel like it's a body broth.
Dude, I love that band. Body broth. It sounds like a metal band, like pulverized bodies turned into broth that you eat like Soylent Green. Anyways, I love taking baths.
I know you do. You're a bathman.
Man, I take baths more than I take showers, but it happens every single time. Every time. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting the bath ready. I'm putting a little something, a little piece of a bath bomb, perhaps some bubble bath, maybe a little Epsom salt, maybe a combination, if I'm feeling really fancy. But I start the bath. I got the Bluetooth speaker, got my phone ready. I'm going to listen to a podcast. I'm going to listen to a song, one song. I'm going to listen to an album.
You said a podcast. How long are you in this tub?
Well, that was what I was getting to. I run the water, and I always run the water a little too hot. Little too hot. Like to the hand, it feels fine. But once you submerge your body in it, you get in. AnthemBrewing.com. You get in. Great beer to drink in the bath, by the way.
Yeah.
The best. Complements a bath nicely. But I get in and I turn lobster red because the water's way too hot. And then I get in there and I'm like, fuck, now what? I get out. So I take short baths.
Okay.
I would say my average bath time is...
Your ABT.
My ABT is clocking in between 10 and 15 minutes.
It's about like I would say my showers, I never have a watch or sort of clock in my shower telling me how long I'm in it.
One of those like Saved by the Bell timers that they'd have at like the basketball games.
Yeah. Like a time lapse. I do take my phone and I have my own little ghetto Bluetooth speaker where I take it's a plastic cup that you get from like The Mule or any restaurant.
Yeah.
And I put the speaker down. Works fantastic.
Does it really?
Yeah. So I play, I get about 2 to 3 2.5 minute songs in.
Okay.
So about 7 minutes.
Now, is this with soap or without?
Always with soap.
Okay.
I'm top down. You go top to bottom.
Oh, yeah. Do you ever wash your knees, though?
Do
you ever wash below the knee?
you ever wash really below your balls? You know what I mean? Like
I do. I like to get the insides of the thighs.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like
scrub it up,
how often
rub it up,
how often
dub
do you,
it up.
yeah, how often do you get below the pit of the knee pit? I don't know what it's called. Feet. You're supposed to wash your feet regularly.
Do you wash your feet, Josh?
Occasionally.
Doesn't it get the water that drips down?
And the soap.
And the shampoo. It gets it all.
No, but how many times well, now it's summertime. If you're sitting by the pool, you can see your feet. Went to the pool recently. I look at the bottom of my feet. I'm like, they weren't like black, but they were like...
Were they grocery store feet?
They were kind of gross, like, we'll just get in the pool, like dip these bad boys in some chlorine.
Grocery store feet are the worst. When you see a young Guatemalan child I'm sorry, it's Trump's America now, deal with it. You see a small child at the grocery store and you see those dirty fucking feet.
Were you ever a grocery store feet kid?
No, I'm not a sandals in public guy, let alone a grocery store kid.
When I was a grocery store kid, my mom, we would go to the Country Boy, which was down the street from the house, and I would wear flippy floppies.
Like are you talking about like your $1.99 Old Navy's?
Classic, yeah, white with a colored strap, and it just kind of buttons in.
Yeah, prepared to blow out at any time.
Oh yeah, you trip on that, they're gone. That's where I'm coming with this. Speaking of shoe malfunctions, I was a kid wearing these little flippy floppies. You're doing your classic fat kid thing, running into the store.
Let me guess, down the donut aisle, right?
Going down that candy aisle. And I have a blowout. The web between my big toe and my middle toe hits that thing just right, snaps that out. So now I'm grocery store feet.
You have to be.
Because we just got there. So my mom's going to be in there for a while doing some grocery shopping.
Yeah.
So I try to do that thing where you hobble with it.
Were you trying to like pull it off as to not piss off your mom?
Yeah. Like, you broke those 99-cent flippy floppies?
Yeah.
No. So yeah, then you get your grocery store feet.
You know what I would have done in that situation? And I almost thought about doing it in Dallas. I would have went to the Kleenex aisle, ripped out all the Kleenex in 2 boxes, stuck those puppies in there, and would have just walked around with Kleenex boxes on my feet, like Kevin from The Office. I might have done that. I can't wear sandals in public, dude.
Anyone who, and no offense to anyone who does this, showing your bare foot in a public place, especially a fucking restaurant, grosses me out.
Okay, I have 2 fingers up, Josh. First of all, it doesn't have to be a Guatemalan child, okay? Can I just set the record straight? Like, it doesn't have to be. I feel sorry that I said that. Secondly, I'm going to make an addendum to the barefoot and food rule.
Yeah.
Men.
No, women are fine.
Yes. But I don't want to see a hairy Flintstone foot.
I don't want to see a Frodo Baggins while I'm trying to eat my taters and mash over here.
No. I don't care if it's indoors, outdoors, patio, upstairs.
In a doghouse, outhouse, in-house, farmhouse.
I don't care.
I don't want to see your fucking feet, dude.
No, like the last thing I want to do is be eating a hot dog and looking at somebody's feet. Because I love my hot dogs. I'm going to have hot dogs for
now,
dinner
by
tonight.
the pool, there's exceptions. The beach, the pool, that is it.
Yeah, the grocery store. No, I can't stand eating and seeing a man's foot. Myself included.
You know what really gives me the willies is seeing a dude with flip-flops on in a bar on like a Friday at like 1 a.m. What the fuck is that guy thinking?
What I would like to do is take one of those long Dr. Q-tips, like the really long wooden ones, you know?
Oh, the ones they shove in your dick.
Oh.
It's not like that. It's a little thing, but yeah. Go ahead.
I'd like to swab the top of the foot, put it in a petri dish, and analyze it. Because I can. Let's guess. Let's guess what would be on that foot. Can I go?
Fecal matter.
You think there would be poop?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Definitely. Well, if he's wearing them in public, which means he's wearing them in public all day, he's gone to a restroom at least once, probably a public restroom. There's shit everywhere in public restrooms.
There is shit everywhere.
Ladies, if you haven't been in a men's public restroom, literally the walls, it's like that scene in The Shining where the blood comes down. It's just shit.
Yeah. Literally covered in shit. Anywhere you go.
So he's going to have a couple of droplets.
Some shit droplets?
Some shit droplets. And speaking of, probably urine dabbles.
That's what I was going to go with first. Definitely
Drippies.
Because let me let you in on a secret, world. Half the population knows this, but for the ladies that are listening, just we're just knocking these little nuggets of truth and info out there. As a man,
our gift to you,
when you wear shorts and you piss in a toilet that's on the ground, not a urinal, but in a toilet that's on the ground, you're gonna get piss on your shins. You splash, you get some splash, you get it on the top of your shoes. It happens. So guaranteed that Chad that was wearing the flip flops,
it was a Chad for sure.
There's pee pee. I'm gonna say spit.
For sure.
There's saliva.
Jizz.
What bar are you going to? Can we
well,
go
I'm
later?
saying maybe this guy was doing, let's just say he was having himself a little afternoon delight. I'm just saying this is not going to be 100% of the time.
Okay.
Percentage wise,
right.
I'm going to say 15 to 20% of the time there's going to be a small amount of jism or a trace of semen.
What can I paint the picture that I'm imagining here? I imagine, Chad rolls out of bed, he plays a few rounds of Call of Duty, goes to the fridge, gets that monster out of there, chugs it.
Oh, there's going to be monster residue on his foot too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Goes back to bed. His girl just came back from brunch with her friends, and they bone. And then when they're done, he pulls up his cargo shorts,
and he's got trickle.
Okay, as the penis softens, it hangs down in the cargo shorts, right? And you get that post.
The drip.
The post drip.
Post-coitus drip.
Yeah, the PCD. You get a little PCD on the end of your bell end. And those khakis, they're loose.
They're loose.
So that dick is just kind of hanging. It's like hanging like a bat in the belfry. Like a bat that just ate some banana puree. And the jizz, when it finally drips... It's going straight down the leg of that khaki, not touching skin or fabric.
Maybe not.
Just falling like Timmy fell down the well. And it lands atop the foot.
Atop the foot. Right in that little patch of Frodo hair that guy's got. I'm assuming everyone has fucking gross feet like I do.
I'm not the bastion of health or fitness. I have what some may describe as a dad bod. But I'll tell you this, from the waist down, from the bottom of my ball sack down, I look pretty good. I have beautiful legs.
Great legs.
I have great feet.
Yeah. I don't. I have hobbit feet. And I'm a little ashamed by them. I mean, I'll let my freak flag fly. And like I went to the pool the other day. I didn't mind. Because think about this. If you're in the proper setting, i.e. a beach or a pool, no one's fucking looking at your feet.
No.
No one's looking at you, man.
No.
Unless you got unless they're attracted to you, they're not going to be looking at you.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
And if they're attracted to you, they're probably not looking at your feet.
No.
Speaking of swimming pools, I had to bring back the update. Remember I was going to go swimming?
Oh, yeah. And you didn't.
I didn't swim.
Didn't swim.
Reason being, I fully intended on swimming. I brought my trunks. I was ready to go. I was ready to face the music. But this 4th of July party turned out to be a lot bigger than I thought. And the pool, albeit very beautiful, very nice, there were so many kids in this pool.
Yeah.
I mean, this pool isn't huge. It's a nice in-ground pool, but it's not a huge pool. And there were probably like 25 to 30 kids in this pool.
I'm assuming you didn't want... Here's the scenario I see playing out in my head if you were to do it. You don't jump in Robby style. I guess Robby would be kind of like... When you walk down the ladder into the pool slowly.
And go, oh, cold, always.
And your nipples are out and the kids are going, what's that?
Yeah.
And you have to explain to these kids and then you just go, I'm a freak.
Deal with it. Yeah, imagine.
Uncle Rob's a freak.
Slowly descending again, the bottom side of your balls into the water, which is always the worst part. Going, ooh, ooh, turning into Robin Williams.
It's cold. No.
And yeah, and you're doing that thing where you kind of like start walking like Nosferatu when you get in there, like your arms are up and you're like,
And then you slowly get in.
But yeah, and I could just imagine, because the sun was setting, and I could imagine fireworks going off, just gleaming off the barbells. So yeah, I didn't swim. I ate a burger, had a couple beers.
Do they sell strobe light
Made my way
balls for
home.
those? Like they run on like a watch battery? It's like,
That would be dope.
fuck yeah.
How about Bluetooth speakers?
real thin? It's a real thin sound.
Quadraphonic sound.
Yeah,
It would
or
be
like
amazing.
a black light reflected.
I'm sure. I think I've seen those at the Copa.
Speaking of the pool and speaking of attractiveness, so we went to the Copa pool. I guess it would be the Habana End pool. We got kicked out of the main one, which has never happened before. That's fine. You can go to the
Did
other.
somebody come and go, hey, get out of here?
No, we were in the pool hanging out, and I saw some narc tell some old guy, like whispered in his ear, and then pointed over to us. I'm like, that fucking narc. And the dude comes over. He was very nice, and he goes, "Are you guys guests here?"
Is he Matthew McConaughey?
Excuse. Hey, you guys guests here? And I was like, be a lot cooler if you were. And then we're like, no. He's like, well, there's another pool you can go to as long as you're drinking at that bar over there. You can stay. So we take all of our shit, go to the other pool, get a drink at the bar, come outside, hang out at this other pool. And it's just dudes, you know, it's a
It's a gay hotel,
It's a
right?
gay hotel.
And one of the best places to swim ever.
best place to swim in
Yeah.
the city. And there's handsome men coming through. And I'm sitting there, I'm getting a little more buzz, and someone's passing around some other things. And I'm sitting in that pool, and I'm thinking, looking around, and there's a couple of our coworkers, like wives with them. And I lean over to him, I'm like, you know, is that an attractive guy? They go, yeah. I'm like, okay. Is it weird that I'm looking at these dudes? I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it, but I just don't like dicks.
Yeah.
You know what
I know.
Like that's a hot, because most of the dudes out there are fucking ripped.
Of
And they're wearing
course.
these like grape smugglers.
Yes.
That dude's got a great body.
Yeah.
I just don't like dicks, man.
No, I like everything, but I don't like buttholes either.
I mean, I don't like my own butthole.
I don't.
I stay away from it until I need to be around it.
I don't wipe. That's how much I hate my own asshole. I don't wipe. I sit up, I drip off, and I get my pants back on, and I get out the door.
Nice.
I let it crust up.
I only buy black underwear as to hide any stains.
Any skid marks. No, I get it. I'm a straight male.
Yeah.
You know, but I actually had this conversation with somebody recently, and I was just like, you know, I'm confident enough in my sexuality that I can say it's a good looking dude. Like, you know, I've speaking of being ripped, I have thought recently, you know, I like to get into things, but recently it's been crossing my mind, like, what if I just did it? I just sucked a dick. No, what if I just went to the gym? What if I just started?
Dude, I've been thinking that hardcore lately. Like, for once in my life, I would like to be able, I mean, I've been like super skinny with like no fat, but I had no definition.
Yeah, never muscular.
I'd like to just get, not like, I'm talking like Brad Pitt Fight Club.
That's pretty ripped, dude.
But it's an attainable.
But he's skinny ripped.
Yeah, I want to be skinny ripped.
Okay.
Or like Justin Theroux. I mean, he's pretty ripped too.
Okay.
Like,
Keep naming hot dudes.
And attainable ripped.
Okay.
That I'm going to go into a gym and go, I want to get attainably ripped,
Yes.
please.
Could you, do you have a trainer? I need to get attainably ripped.
Yeah.
What cued me off to that, just bringing it back around to my favorite band in the world, the one and only 311. 311.
Well, Nick Hexum.
I was watching, okay, so what I've been doing since I'm not going to the concert, I've been watching terrible quality phone videos on
there's
YouTube.
like 30,000 of them every show.
Well, I ran across one the other night, and it was really good quality. Like the phone looked great. The sound wasn't blown out at all. I mean, it was phone quality, but it wasn't blown out. It was listenable, you know. But the video was great. Like the dude must have been like on a balcony or a ledge, because the phone was perfectly still 90% of the time. Every once in a while it would move a little bit, but it was great, and great video quality, great sound. And I was watching Mr. Nick Hexum lead the band, you know, do his thing.
Let me guess. He was wearing I'm going to stop calling it a wife beater, an A shirt Was he wearing an A shirt?
I call it like an Italian greaseball shirt.
Yeah. Was it colored?
No, it was white.
Okay.
It was a white Italian greaseball shirt.
Just tight enough to where you can see all that.
Yeah, you can see like the titty muscle on the side.
Yeah, he's got like a nice titty muscle.
He does. Nick Hexum's got some nice titties.
You know, Peanut's actually pretty cut too.
They all are, except SA. And Chad's not. Chad's the dad bod. I'm talking about how sexy the members of 311 are. That just occurred to me. No, but Nick Hexum always been a very handsome fella.
Sure, yeah.
And
he's the bangable one.
Yeah. If only I liked
fuck, marry, kill, 311.
all of them at the same time. But I was like, man, Nick Hexum, he's like 50 years old or 40s, late 40s. Dude is cut, but not buff. Like he looked good, and I had no problem being like, I want to look like that. I've never been a big fat person. Big fat person.
Was she the big fat person?
but I've been very skinny, but I've never really had muscles. Like, that's okay. That's cute. But I'm making a muscle. It looks like Bugs Bunny's arm right now. But it'd be kind of tight to have like, when the dudes have like the cool angular shoulders.
Yeah.
That aren't just like little bloop bloop like mine.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of like Gumby.
Yeah.
Like
my thing is like it's not just for look, it's functionality. The older you get, man, this shit falls apart, and your muscles are the only thing keeping your bones from like literally falling apart.
Yeah.
So keep this shit. I look at it like armor. Like your vehicle, right?
Yeah.
You could just drive around the frame,
right?
No doors and everything. It become dangerous.
Yeah, like Mad Max style.
Yeah.
Like, or I call it postman style.
Yeah.
It always freaked me out, the postal Jeeps that didn't have the door.
Yeah.
Or the UPS trucks that don't have the door.
Oh, seeing someone in a Jeep without doors on, I'm like, you're crazy, man.
Yeah.
You're a crazy person.
What if a rock flew in there?
And they're always wearing flip-flops.
They just ate.
Dude, Jeep owners are always wearing fucking flip-flops.
Flip-flops and like one of those like Cabela's hats or like a OU hat that has like a fish hook on it or something.
And like sunglasses like that went out of style in the 90s, but for some reason they still pull it off. The Oakley style.
The killer loops. Do you remember those? I call those volleyball shades.
Yeah.
That's the only people that should wear them are people who are playing volleyball.
Yeah.
Like really digging in there and like getting that spike.
Yeah. But again, to do sport shit, I would love to be getting shaved.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not just to maybe have some muscle and like some definition, but like to feel better. Because let's be honest, man, I am getting...
To not feel hurt.
Yeah, I am getting to the age where I really feel like I need to start taking care of myself. And not just by, eating better, but like maybe working out, doing some cardio, doing something to get the blood pumping, to get the arteries cleared, to get the heart rate up, to get the lungs a pumping.
Sure.
Getting that sweet oxygen.
You start noticing a lot more body aches and pains the older you get.
Just a general malaise is what I like to say.
Just something to just kind of, I don't want to say postpone the inevitable.
Yeah.
But something to put off that, I don't want to be taking, I don't want to like have to go to a back doctor when I'm like 40.
No, dude, no. Exactly that. Like in the last few years, okay, his old man talk with Robby, Ray, and Joshua. My left shoulder, dude, listen to this.
Yeah, mine does
Did
it
you
all the
hear
time,
that?
yeah.
Yep, popping shoulders.
Yeah.
Popping shoulders with the old man. But dude, like I don't want to have that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But I've had it for like well over a year, maybe 2 years.
Oh, that's been going on for well over 10 years.
Maybe we should go to the gym. What we could do is we could get on a couple ellipticals. We could put some lav mics on, and we could do a podcast while we're on an elliptical.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to we got some friends, love these guys. They're inspirational. Like JoJo and like John Hernandez, those dudes who just fucking pound it.
Yeah.
Like,
they're muscle men. They're muscle men.
Crazy amounts. Like, I'll lift, but I'm not going to lift that shit.
I can't lift that shit.
I can't lift that shit. I like cardio and like body weight kind of stuff.
I thought about just doing like the prison style and just going and getting like the 20, 10, and 5.
I like prison style. You just get a bunch of like Encyclopedia Britannicas.
Just duct tape them together, put some jelly on a butthole, and get to eating in sandals. No, like get just like the 3 different weights, the 10, the 20, the 5. And just when I'm at home, like watching 311 YouTube videos, like just get a little motion going. Just, and I like riding a bicycle, but it's just too hard on the old taint. Like I can't ride my bike for a long.
Yeah, I've thought
way.
about riding a bike or getting one of those. You always see commercials for these badass. What do they call them? Exercise bikes.
Yeah,
with like TVs and shit in them now.
yeah.
Like, man, that'd be cool, but you'd have to. I don't know.
I don't know,
man. What can you do? Hey, if you're an expert on this sort of thing, if you go to the gym a lot, if it's kind of your bug.
If you're listening to this,
to this at the gym. Email us at boyspodcast.com or hit us up.
Boys at boyspodcast.
Boyspodcast.com.
What? That's a hold on. Let me write that down. How do you spell that?
GXQRP. Or dude, drop a DM.
Yeah.
And let us know how we can get started. What's a good way for two schlubby dudes in our late 30s to get started?
Yeah, and your advice will be taken not for granted, not with a grain of salt, not as prescribed, but it will be taken to heart.
Right.
And I would love to get on the track of being able to do this podcast well into our 90s when our dicks don't work anymore.
And we got chubby ladies putting our dicks in their mouth.
Yes. Oh, well, what more could you want?
I don't know.
Sounds like a fucking Kiss lyric.
A chubby ladies putting dicks in her mouth.
I love it.
Wait, chubby ladies putting dicks in our mouth? Where are we? Where are we?
Back at the Copa. Just chubby ladies putting dicks in our mouths. If we ever have an album, that's what it's got to be called.
Chubby ladies putting dicks
and we'll
in
have like a photo shoot with like a very like a robust woman.
It could just be large women putting dildos in our mouth.
Glass ones.
Glass dildos in our
Only.
mouth. Yeah.
I'm allergic to anything else. Anyways, okay, we should probably wrap up soon. Is there anything else before we go? Is there anything else on your mind? Because we're not going to do another one of these cold coffees for a while. I tell you what. Let me give you a starting point.
Sure.
This is Getting Real with Robby Ray.
Okay.
Are you enjoying yourself with this podcast?
Fuck yeah.
You are?
Here's the thing. Let's do this. Let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
Let's turn back time. Let's find a way.
All right.
You brought this idea to me over a year ago, sitting on your back porch, the house in Bethany. We're having a couple of beers. You brought up doing a podcast together, and I was like, let's do it. We did it on a trial basis, and look where we are now.
Yeah, 62 eps deep.
Yeah.
Coming up on 75. Which,
honestly, when we brought it up, I thought it was going to be another one of those let's put a band together thing.
Yeah.
May or may not happen.
Jam a few times.
We've been jamming. We've been playing out-of-state shows.
Dude,
we've been playing some pretty big shows.
We've been playing good shows.
I want to keep playing big shows.
But you know what's fun? The basement show, like right now.
I love the basement.
The house show.
These are good house shows.
It's great. And it's fun, man. It's really interesting because we've been getting a lot of good listens. You know, I feel like we've grown a lot in 62 episodes, and we got a long ways to go. But the rise is steady, and it's fun to watch it and see the analytics and to see the listens and downloads and comments and things like that. What's awesome is we've been getting some really good guests, but it's so fun to be able to just sit down and do this.
I love these. What I also enjoy is hearing, you know, the people saying, you know, we love your podcast, listen to it every week, look forward to it. It's great. What I love hearing more than that, though, is when people are like, you guys made me want to start a podcast, so I started a podcast. Like, that's fucking cool, man.
Because we got that from someone. You know, I grew up listening to talk radio and Stern and Ron and Fez and Opie and Anthony and all that stuff. And then podcasting came out, and I was like, you know, I always like to play music and I like to draw and stuff like that, but this is what I need to do. This is my, whether it's a guest or whether it's just you and I, this is like therapy to me. And, you know, we can be funny and joke around, and I say some off-color shit or whatever, you know, about Guatemalan children, fat women, whatever, but it's all in fun. It's all from a place of love.
Yeah. We love you guys.
Yes, and gals. And
I guess you can't say guys is like a all-encompassing.
But the other thing somebody said to me a few weeks ago, we were talking about the podcast, and they were saying some really nice things about it. And they said that you need to do the cold coffee episodes more often. So I guess this would be the moment once again to reach out to whoever's listening this deep, an hour and 12 minutes in or so, hour and 13 minutes in. What are your thoughts? Shoot us an @ on Twitter @tweetsofboys. Send us an email, boys@boyspodcast.com. Hit us up on Facebook. Send us a message. Instagram, Boys Podcast. Any avenue you'd like to take.
There's so many ways to message someone these days. You never know what's the appropriate one to take.
Yeah.
Is email outdated? Is email archaic?
I think it may be for some. I mean, a lot of people have office jobs and they use email all the time, but a lot of people don't.
Would you, for business purposes, would you do Instagram or Facebook for messages?
I would say Instagram or Twitter over Facebook. Facebook is okay, but honestly, our Facebook is really only to not to host, but just to post links. Like we don't really post anything to Facebook other than new show.
We don't really post a lot of shit to Instagram. We need to get on that.
We will.
We need more IG shit.
We're only going to get better from here. We're going to Instagram these pics of our shoes.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I would say if somebody wants to reach out to us, you know, just a quick, hey, I like that segment. Hey, that segment sucked. You know, quit making fun of fat people, whatever. You know, quit being fat yourself. Like, probably Instagram is easy. The messaging built in.
Well, hit us up somewhere.
And I think most people have. I think if you drew the big Venn diagram of Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, I think most people would have Instagram that listen to this.
And speaking of, if you. We all like to follow weird, crazy, fun Instagrams. If you have something fun, a fun Instagram you think we would really enjoy to follow, we're all guilty of waking up and scrolling through IG.
Oh yeah.
I like the snake pits. I love Rigs of Dad. The funny ones.
Yeah.
The Fuck Jerry, the hood clips.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those, because it gives you a little chuckle in the morning. I'm going to start my day great because that was fucking hilarious. If you find anything weird outside the norm, man, send it to us.
I got one for you. Speaking of, you know, I've been on this like jam band kick. I found an Instagram. I guess there's a slur for Fish and Grateful Dead fans. They call them wooks. W-O-O-K.
Like a Wookiee?
Kind of.
Okay.
But the Instagram to check out is at Passed Out Wooks. Because it's just people at festivals that are like fucked up and passed out, and there's usually like a funny caption with it. It's really good.
Okay.
So there's something to get you started.
There's one to get started.
So we gave one to you, give one to us.
Yeah.
Send us a note. Anything.
Yeah.
Any, you know, questions, comments, concerns, criticisms. Anything would be awesome. We do get things, but you know what? The more the better, and maybe, you know, we'll read a good one on the air.
Yes.
Speaking of my brother and me, I would love to maybe do an advice show. That's something, a one-off, not to rip off a style of podcast.
No, I was thinking like how we do these cold coffees one every 5 or 6 or so. Maybe we do an advice one, like a Q&A. Let's do a Q&A.
All right. We'll
do a Q&A.
I'll tell you what, between now and the next one, we'll plan it. Maybe we'll start it like as a segment for cold coffee, or maybe we'll do a whole episode or something like that. But that'd be super good. But we will wrap it up now. But Josh,
guys.
I've had so much fun with you, man.
Great day.
This
I've
is
had
awesome.
fun too, man.
Yeah. And we'll see you next week, and thanks for listening.
Well, bye.